A leading conservative group is taking the IRS to court. The National Organization for Marriage says the tax agency leaked its confidential records to its political opponents.
And the information from those records was used to harass its supporters. John Jessup has the story from Washington.
No matter where you stand, the future of marriage stirs strong emotions on both sides of the debate. But one thing everyone agrees on: government agencies that are supposed to be independent, especially those as powerful as the Internal Revenue Service, shouldn't use their leverage to help either side. But one conservative group charges that's just what happened when the IRS leaked the names and addresses of some of its supporters.
People's names were disclosed as donors, their businesses were boycotted. If there was an employee at a business, that business was boycotted.
Dr. John Eastman, chair of the National Organization for Marriage, made his charges at a recent hearing in Washington. He, along with other conservative groups, said the IRS targeted them for political harassment, an accusation that's drawn condemnation from the right and the left.
This is not about ambiguity in the law. This is not about any such thing. This is about abuse of power.
I believe that it's outrageous, it's inappropriate, it's wrong, and we must do everything that we can do to fix it.
The pro-traditional marriage group believes someone in the IRS illegally gave its private donors list to the Human Rights Campaign, a gay advocacy group that supports same-sex marriage. HRC posted the donor information online during the 2012 campaign. CBN contacted HRC for comment, but it did not respond. The National Organization for Marriage requested investigations into who leaked the names of its financial backers with both the IRS and the Department of Justice, but up to now, NOM has been essentially stonewalled.
Nothing has changed since the hearing except that more and more voices are demanding answers.
The National Organization for Marriage says after its list of donors was posted on the internet, many of them were harassed, boycotted, and ultimately intimidated from sending in more money. Now it is suing the IRS for civil penalties. And Peters says this case has implications for all Americans.
It's the chilling of our free speech. Americans on both sides of the question about what marriage is have a right to donate, to organize, to use all the tools of the political process to share their views and to put their money where their mouth is.
Meanwhile, lawmakers promise they'll find out who released the private information on the donors.
I have to tell you, Mr. Eastman, this is egregious, and we're going to get to the bottom of it.
John Jessup, CBN News, Washington.
Well, the level of scandal seems to continue on, and this is definitely a political scandal because the head of the Human Rights Campaign left that group in order to join the Obama campaign, and shortly after leaving that group, that's when the IRS document got posted on their website. And then the harassment of the donors started, just as it did with Proposition 8 in California. Anyone who gave $100 to support marriage in California, their businesses were picketed. They were asked to leave employment. Some were fired outright because of the threat of boycott happening just because they wanted to defend marriage. This is an ongoing scandal. When you add to it that donors to the Romney campaign were selectively audited by the IRS. When you add to the Tea Party, any organization with Tea Party in its name was blocked from receiving certification as a 501c4 organization by the IRS. It all leads to an attack on free speech and participation in the political process. And if you can't find intent here, I don't know where else you have to look. It seems you got smoking gun after smoking gun. Well, a leading Republican senator says there's a war on Christianity. Wendy Griffith has more on that story from the CBN Newsroom. Wendy?
That's right, Gordon. Kentucky Senator Rand Paul says that war on Christianity is being fought both in the United States and other countries as well. The conservative Republican made that argument at the Faith and Freedom Coalition Conference in Washington. Paul said persecuted Christians in many Middle Eastern countries are on the run, and America should stop helping the people who are chasing them.
There's a war on Christianity, not just from the liberal elites here at home, but worldwide. And your government, or more correctly you, are having to pay for it. You're being taxed to send money to countries that are not only intolerant of Christians, but openly hostile. Christians are imprisoned and threatened with death for their beliefs.
Senator Paul points out that some regimes put Christians to death for blasphemy against Islam or kill Muslims who convert to Christianity. The U.S. Ambassador at Large for International Religious Freedom was a no-show for a congressional hearing Thursday on religious freedom. Ambassador Suzanne Johnson Cook was invited to testify but didn't come. The State Department said she shouldn't have been asked to appear alongside witnesses from outside the government. One religious freedom expert says Cook's absence shows that the White House puts a lower priority on religious rights than promoting gay marriage and contraceptives. Some members of Congress are thinking about quitting or retiring early. Politico.com reports they're worried that their health insurance premiums will skyrocket because of Obamacare. Members of Congress and their aides currently get their benefits under a generous federal program, but next year they'll go under Obamacare. Well, it's one of the most anticipated movies of the summer. Man of Steel opens in theaters across the country tonight. But many are wondering, who is this new Superman? I had the chance to sit down with some of the stars of the film, including little-known British actor Henry Cavill, who plays the Man of Steel, to talk about his role of a lifetime.
He's going to change the world.
You might say Henry Cavill was born to play Superman, although until now, many people were saying, Henry who?
Are you ready for superstardom that Superman's going to bring you?
I don't know if anyone could be ready for that. I'm just going to have to be as ready as I can be and, ride the wave, enjoy it, and roll with the punches if they come.
I will find him! In Man of Steel, there are plenty of punches as Superman tries to keep the evil Kryptonian General Zod from wiping out life on Earth.
For some, he was a guardian angel.
Reporter Lois Lane, played by Amy Adams, teams up with Superman to save the day.
Isn't she sort of a hero in this movie, too?
Yeah, now that you say that, yeah, she is. Well, she definitely, she's willing to put her own safety at risk.
It's been said since Superman's creation that Superman is a type of Christ figure. For example, his heavenly Kryptonian father sends his only son to Earth to save mankind. And Superman is 33 years old when he finally reveals his great powers to the world, the same age as Jesus when he went to the cross.
Director Zack Snyder says the religious symbolism is a part of the Superman story that he wanted to embrace.
Allowing people to have a conversation about whatever relationship they have with Jesus or the Jesus story through the movie is, I think, undeniable in the material. And if you don't include it in the film, then you're really sort of denying the mythology that is Superman.
Hopes and dreams travel with you.
Russell Crowe plays Superman's Kryptonian father, while Kevin Costner plays Superman's earthly dad, who realizes early on his son has special powers.
Can I just keep pretending I'm your son?
You are my son.
You seem to be letting him make up his own mind, though, whether he was going to use those powers for good or for evil.
Right. Well, I think that's the great thing about life, is being able to make discoveries on your own. But what happens is sometimes a parent can frame it for you. And if you adore your parents, you want to end up on the side of what you feel is right.
What's the S stand for?
And we learned something very interesting about the famous S on Superman's chest.
It's not an S. On my world, it means hope.
What hope does Superman bring?
It's that hope against the odds, to beat all odds, no matter how steep or how grand. And it's just standing up, facing the troubles and going, I will not surrender.
And you can see my entire interview with Henry Cavill by going to our website at cbnnews.com. By the way, Superman celebrates its 75th anniversary with Man of Steel, which again opens in theaters across the country today. You going to see it, Gordon?
No, probably not. I'll probably wait until it comes out on some kind of rental service. I don't go to theaters that often anymore. But it did have a huge opening, and the biggest opening, if you can believe this, in Philippine history this past weekend. So it had the biggest opening weekend of any film in history. So it's already scoring big in Asia, and we'll just see how well it does here in America.
The House Judiciary Committee has passed a measure that bans abortions after 20 weeks. It passed on a party line vote of 20-12, with Republicans for it and Democrats against it. The measure would prevent abortions after 20 weeks of pregnancy in all cases, except when the mother's life is in danger. A full House vote is planned for the bill later this month, but even if it passes there, it's expected to die in the democratically controlled Senate. Food pantries supported by Operation Blessing serve thousands of families each week. In Georgia, a father of two and his wife were struggling to make ends meet for their family. Terry, the father, was diagnosed with kidney failure and could no longer work full time. An Operation Blessing supported food pantry gave his family food and essentials. Terry was so inspired by the help he received that he started scheduling his dialysis treatments in order to volunteer full-time and work at the pantry. He has since gotten a kidney transplant and is back to work full-time. God bless him. Well, you can find out more about Operation Blessing by going to their website. That's ob.org.